guys, welcome back to Crypto Skillet. In this video, I'm going to show you how to start trading on BingX. So I've been using the BingX platform to do crypto futures trading for quite some time. It's my favorite platform hands down. It's actually one of the few trading platforms out there that does not require a KYC. So that means you don't have to send them your ID or give them all your personal information or anything like that. Okay, you can just simply sign up and start trading. So of course, that's fantastic. Now, many of you guys know that I share a lot of my trades in my Telegram group and on my Twitter as well, and I've gotten a ton of requests to make a step-by-step tutorial to show you exactly how to get set up from scratch so you can start trading in these markets. And that's exactly what I'm bringing to you guys today in this video. And honestly, there's never been a better time to learn how to trade, okay? If you don't already know how to use a trading platform, I'd say that right now is the time because there's an insane amount of opportunities to make money in the crypto markets. Of course, right now there's a lot happening in the crypto space and the markets have been absolutely popping with activity, and I think we're just getting warmed up for what's ahead this year and probably even into next year and beyond as the next bull cycle really starts to get underway. So this video is going to give you everything you need to go ahead and get started with trading using the BingX platform. And by the way guys, if you do want to get started with trading and you want some extra trading capital to get you started, you can get up to $5,000 in free new user sign-up bonuses when you join the BingX platform using my link down below in the description. Plus, they've got some other limited time bonuses on top of that, okay? They've got a New Year promotion that's still running right now. Plus, I know they've just sponsored the Chelsea Football Club, which is super cool, and I think they've got even more promotional giveaways to celebrate that as well. So it's really cool stuff all around, and hey, you may as well get that free stuff while it's there, right? Okay, now before we get into it, just keep in mind that in this video, I'm not going to be talking about any specific trading strategies or trade setups or technical analysis or anything like that. Okay, I'll be making plenty of future videos to talk about all that stuff, so make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But the purpose of this video is to show you how to actually use the platform. So by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to open trades, how to close trades, how to use leverage, how to set up stop losses and take profit levels, etc. And of course, how to adjust all these parameters as you see fit. So we're going to go ahead and jump in. So as you can see here, I'm inside the BingX platform and I've got a trade open right now. Now this one is a small scalp trade that I entered about an hour and a half ago on Celestia. And as you can see right now, I'm currently up over 50% on this one. And by the way, guys, this is not my main account. This is a secondary account that I'm using for demo purposes, and I've just loaded this one up with a few $100s to show you guys how everything works. Okay, now we're currently in the Perpetual Futures area of the BingX platform, but one of the coolest things about BingX, and actually one of the things that sets it apart, is that they actually have two different areas of the platform where you can trade futures. So one is called Perpetual Futures, which is the one that you see here, and the other one is called Standard Futures, which is pretty similar. It opens the same kinds of trades, but it's more intended for beginner traders because it's a little bit more intuitive. There's a little less stuff on the screen to have to look at. So I'm going to show you guys both of these areas and we'll go from start to finish on how to use them both. Now, just a quick disclaimer, do keep in mind that nothing in this video is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm a trader and an investor sharing my knowledge and experience with you guys. So always do your own due diligence and practice proper risk management. And of course, if you appreciate the content, give the video a thumbs up, share it with a friend, and subscribe. Okay, now back to the video. Okay, so let's get some important definitions out of the way. So there are several terms here that you really need to know the meaning of. So let me start by explaining what a long position and a short position are. So a long position is a trade that you would take with the expectation of the price increasing. So if you enter a long position, then the higher the price goes above your entry level, the more profits you make. Okay, now a short position is just the inverse. So you would take a short position if you expect the price of the asset to decrease. And so the lower that the price goes below your entry level, the more profit you make. Okay, so if you think price is going up, you take a long position. If you think the price is going down, you take a short position. So now let's talk about margin and leverage. So margin refers to the amount of your own capital that you must put into a trade to maintain a leveraged position. Okay, so again, this is the amount of your actual capital that you're using in a trade. So then what is leverage? So leverage refers to borrowing funds to increase the size of a trade. So this essentially allows you to gain larger exposure to the market with a smaller amount of capital. And this is a really, really powerful tool. And so here's an example to illustrate how this works. So let's say that you have $1,000 of your own capital that you want to put into a trade, but you want to be able to trade with $10,000. So how can you do that? Well, you can use 10x leverage. Okay, so a $1,000 margin, which again means your own capital, with a 10x leverage allows you to open a $10,000 position because, of course, 10 times 1,000 is 10,000. And so by using this leverage, it essentially amplifies the movements of the market so that a 1% movement in the price of the asset will result in a 10% move in the value of your position. Okay, so hopefully that's clear. Again, it's a very, very powerful tool, but just keep in mind that with increased leverage also comes increased risk potential. So that's why it's very, very important to use a stop loss. And that's the next thing we're going to talk about. So what is a stop loss? So this is an order that's placed to buy or sell once the asset reaches a certain predetermined price. Now, this is really, really important because it limits your loss on a position and it allows you to define your risk. So in that example above, if you put $1,000 of your own capital into a trade and you didn't use a stop loss, if the direction of the price movement goes against your trade, then you could end up liquidating that entire position. But if you use a stop loss, you can go ahead and predefine your level of risk so that once the price reaches a certain level, it will automatically exit the trade, thus allowing you to just take a small loss rather than liquidating your entire position. Okay, then a take profit, this is just the opposite of a stop loss. So a take profit level is a predetermined level at which a trader wants to close out the position for a profit. Okay, so now with those definitions out of the way, let's head back to the platform. Now, of course, in order to get started with trading, you're going to have to first deposit funds onto the platform. So in the deposit area, which you can find if you mouse over assets at the top, you can select from these currencies here in this drop-down box. I recommend just sticking with USDT. And then right below that is a drop-down box where you can select which network you want to send your USDT on. Okay, I usually go with Binance Smart Chain, but you can choose from any one of these. Now, once you've made your selection, you'll have this deposit address that will appear right here. Now, below that, you can see where it says deposit account. So this is set to Perpetual Futures account, but you can modify this by clicking right here. And this allows you to choose whether you want to deposit this to your Perpetual Futures account, your Standard Futures account, or your fund account. Okay, now, of course, you can transfer your funds between each of these accounts really, really easily. So for example, you can move your funds to your fund account, and that's where you can make withdrawals. And then if you're trading on Standard Futures, which I'm going to show you guys in just a moment, you can go ahead and deposit into your Standard Futures account, or you can choose the Perpetual Futures account if you're going to be using Perpetual Futures. Okay, but again, you can transfer these around really, really easily. Okay, so then once you've made your selection, then you're going to take this deposit address and you're going to copy that. So you can either manually copy that or you can click this icon right here and that copies it to your clipboard automatically. Then all you have to do is just send whatever amount of USDT you want to that address. And again, just make sure you're sending it on the correct network, on the network that you selected up here. And then once you've sent those funds, just give it a few moments for all the block confirmations to go through, and then your funds are going to show up right there in your account. Okay, super easy. Now, once your funds are in your account, you can choose up here where it says derivatives. You can choose from Perpetual Futures or Standard Futures. So I'm going to start out by showing you how to use Perpetual Futures. So when you choose Perpetual Futures, this is what you're going to see. So of course, I've got this trade open right now on Celestia on TIA. So that's the chart that you're seeing, but you can select your asset pair right up here in the top left. So you can click right here and then enter any asset pair. So for example, if you wanted to trade Ethereum, you could type ETH. And then you see Ethereum right there. Okay, you could click there to select Ethereum. And there we go, we have the chart, and here you can select your time frame. Okay, so right now I'm on the 15-minute, but of course you can select from any one of these, and there's additional time frames right here if you just mouse over. So you could choose the 1-minute chart, the 3-minute chart, etc., or any of these that they have available. Then they also have indicators right here, so you could click here and select from a bunch of their indicators. And they have other options up here as well. So instead of using candles, if you wanted to look at bars or Heiken Ashi or anything else, they have those options available too. So now let's talk about opening a position. So over here on the right side, this is where you're going to actually enter your trades. So they have limit, market, and trigger. So if you choose limit, this is going to open your trade at a predetermined price that you set. Then if you choose market, this is going to enter your trade at the market price at the moment. And then they have a trigger option as well. And that allows you to set up a trigger order where if the price reaches a certain level that you choose, it will open the trade for you. Okay, so let's go back to market. All right, now up here is where you're going to choose how much leverage you want to use. So if I click right here, you can see this is the leverage bar. I can slide this all the way up to 100x on this pair, and I'm just going to leave it at 20 for now. And then this is the amount of leverage for short. Now, the amount of leverage that you can use will vary depending on which pair you're trading. Okay, so just choose whatever amount of leverage that you want and then click confirm. Now, beside that, you see where it says cross. Okay, this is where you can choose between cross margin or isolated margin. Okay, so in cross margin mode, all positions of a particular asset share the same margin. And then with isolated, a certain amount of margin is allocated to the single position so that the risk is segregated from other positions. Okay, but it's really up to you. I typically use cross margin. Okay, so right here, you can choose whichever one you want, then click confirm. Now, right here where it says notional value, okay, this is the total amount of your position size that you're going to open. Now, this is going to be calculated based on how much leverage you're using. So for example, if I have 20x leverage on and I'm using $100, that would give me a notional value of $2,000. Okay, so if I type 2,000 right here, then down here you can see the amount of margin, okay, where it says margin USDT, you can see that's about $100. Okay, then right here is where you set up your stop loss. Okay, so if you're choosing a long position, you're going to want to have this box ticked where it says long, take profit and stop loss. And then if you're opening a short position, you're going to want to tick this box right here. Okay, so for your take profit, you can either enter the price where you want to take profit. So for example, if I had a trade here and my take profit area was around 25.60, if I type 25.60, it will automatically give me the percentage of my take profit. Okay, that would be 23.26%. Or I could back that up and do it the other way around. So if I knew that I wanted to have a take profit at about 30%, for example, I could type 30 right there, and then that will automatically populate with the price where that take profit will be triggered. Now, it also shows you the total amount of your P&L. So at that position size with that take profit, that would net me $30.14 in USDT. Okay, then it's the same concept here for the stop loss. So for example, if I had a stop loss on this trade at 25.20, I could type that right here and you would see that is 7.15%. Or I could delete that and just start with a ratio or a percentage amount. So let's say that I wanted to have my stop loss at 10%. I could type 10 right there, and then it would give me the price right here. And then right there in red, it would show me what my total loss would be if that stop loss were to be triggered. That would be $10.09. Okay, so then once I have all of that configured where I want it, I could just simply open a long trade by clicking open long. And then of course, if I was opening a short trade, I could just click open short. Okay, and then as soon as you do that, it's gonna go ahead and open your trade up. So I'm gonna click back here on my open trade on Celestia. Okay, there it is. And this is what it looks like once a trade is opened up. Okay, so you can see here, this is my entry point where I actually entered the trade. And then down here, this is my stop loss and this is my take profit. Now you can modify these just by dragging them around. So for example, if I wanted to move my stop loss here, let me zoom in a little bit more. Okay, so if I wanted to move this stop loss up or down, I can grab this and just drag it to where I want it. And then once it's in a new area, it's gonna ask me to confirm that I'm changing that stop loss price, and then I can click confirm. And there it is, I've just moved it. So for example, if my trade is already in profit like it is now, if I wanted, I could even move this stop loss beyond my entry point. Okay, so I could move it up here and then click confirm. And now my stop loss is set above my entry point. So in this case, there's no way that I could lose any money. Okay, now you can see the specifics of your trade down here. This is where it says position. You can see this is my position on Celestia. Again, this is a small scalp trade that I have open. This is on cross margin at 15x leverage. This is a long position, and this is the position value. So this is just over $2,000, and this is my unrealized P&L. Okay, so if I were to close the trade right now, this is the amount of profit or loss that I would have. So it's just about $60 at this moment. Now, of course, I haven't yet hit my take profit. My take profit is up here. And so over here where it says take profit / stop loss, I can click right here where it says C2 records. And this shows me exactly what I would be gaining or losing depending on if I hit this take profit or stop loss. So if I was to hit this take profit, I would be earning almost $90. And because I've just moved my stop loss up above my entry point, the worst case here is that I would make $15.68. Okay, and this does get updated anytime that you move these around. So you can always click here and come to this area to see what your updated stop loss and take profit levels will look like when you make any changes. Okay, now if for any reason you want to close your trade early before you hit a take profit or stop loss, you can do that down here where it says limit close and market close. So if you choose limit close, you can specify a particular price that you want to close that trade at, or if you just want to go ahead and close it right now, you can use the market close button, and that's going to go ahead and exit your trade, and whatever your unrealized P&L is at that moment, that's what you're going to make on that trade. Now, if you forgot to add a stop loss or a take profit and you want to do this after the trade is already open, right here, if you see this little plus sign, you can click right here, and this allows you to add a take profit or stop loss to an existing position. Okay, so you can choose from take profit right here or stop loss. Then you can just simply enter the take profit trigger either in the USDT amount or in the ratio or the percentage, and the same applies for the stop loss. Okay, and then you're going to want to slide this bar over to whatever amount of your total position size that you want. So if you wanted to close the entire trade at this take profit level, you would just slide this bar all the way to the right to 100% of the position, and that would close your entire position at that take profit level. And again, same goes for stop loss. Now you can also set up multiple take profit levels or stop loss levels, and all you have to do is just slide this bar over somewhere short of 100%. So for example, if you wanted to exit 50% of your position, you could just slide this bar right here to the middle at 50%, and that way you could add multiple take profit levels or multiple stop loss levels. Now they also have a trailing take profit or stop loss as well, and it tells us right here, trailing take profit or stop loss is an order strategy that tracks the market price and its trigger price moves with market swings. So this is a little bit more of an advanced strategy, but some people like to use it. I personally almost never use a trailing stop loss, but it can be useful. For example, if you're already way in profit, you could set this up to trail at, say, a 10% pullback. So the price can keep climbing higher and higher and higher, but whenever it pulls back 10%, you could go ahead and lock in a profit right there. That's just one example of how this might be used. But again, I typically don't use this, but this is where you can access this if you do choose. Okay, so that's pretty much it, guys. It's pretty simple to use. Again, this is the Perpetual Futures area. Now, as I mentioned, they also have a Standard Futures. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how that one works right now. Okay, so up here where it says Derivatives, I'm going to mouse over that, and now we're going to click on Standard Futures. All right, so this is what the Standard Futures area looks like. So it's very similar, but it's a little bit cleaner, and it's a little bit more intuitive to use if you don't have a whole lot of experience trading. So once again, you're going to choose which pair you want right up here. So for now, I'm just going to stick to BTC USDT, and then over here, you can select from isolated margin or cross margin, just like you could with Perpetual Futures. Now the area to choose your leverage is actually down here, okay? So you see these different boxes that you can choose from. So if you wanted 5x leverage, you could select that. If you want 125x leverage, you could select that, or any of these in between. Now, if you wanted to create a custom leverage amount, you can click this pencil icon right here, and then this little box pops up where you can slide this bar around, or you can just type an amount. So if you wanted to type, say, 37% or something like that, you could just enter any number right there, and then you could click OK, and that would save that amount of leverage. Okay, now right here where it says margin. So this is a little bit different from the Perpetual Futures area. So in this box, this is where you enter the amount that you want to actually put into the trade from your own capital. Okay, so this is not the same as notional value, because notional value accounts for your leverage multiplied by the amount of capital you're using. Okay, so again, in that example that I gave earlier, if you were using $100 of your own capital and you were using 20x leverage, that would give you a notional value of $2,000. Okay, so that ended up being our total position size. Okay, so with Standard Futures, you don't have to do any of that at all. You just enter the amount of your own capital that you want to put into the trade. Okay, so we could put in 100 right here. And actually, I forgot, on this account, I only put in $50 into the Standard Futures account. Okay, so let me change this to 50. Okay, and then let's say that I selected 10x leverage. Okay, so that means that my total position size would be $500. Okay, so this is a little bit easier because you don't have to really do any calculations, but in the end, it ends up working out the exact same way. Okay, so then right here, you see take profit and stop loss. So if you want to enter your take profit, you just select right here. And then this shows up in terms of percentage, but you can choose right here to USDT if you want to enter the price where this is going to be triggered. Okay, so just like with Perpetual Futures, you have the choice. And then the same thing applies with stop loss. Okay, so you could either enter a specific percentage, or you could come over here and select USDT and then enter a price where you want your stop loss to be. Okay, so then once you have all that set up, you would just click on long. Of course, if you want to open a long position. Now, if you wanted to open a short position up here, you're going to click on short. And then if you scroll down, this would allow you to open a short position. Okay, and then everything else still works the exact same way. You can still drag around your take profit and stop loss. You can still close out your trades at any time. But again, just remember there are two separate accounts within your overall dashboard. Okay, you have that standard futures account and your perpetual futures account. So those funds will be separated. So just remember that when you're making your deposit. And again, no worries if you accidentally send it to the wrong account. You can easily transfer that over. All right, so that's pretty much it, guys. That is exactly how you use this platform, BingX, to do your futures trading. Again, I've been using this platform for quite a while now. It is my favorite platform. It's got pretty much every pair that I've ever wanted to trade. It is one of the big exchanges in this space. So it's got a stellar reputation, it's got great liquidity depth, and hopefully this video helped you guys out and showed you how to get started. So once again, make sure you don't miss out on those bonuses that I've got for you guys. Again, BingX is absolutely hooking my viewers up. They're gonna give you up to $5,000 of free new user sign up bonuses when you use my link down below in the description. And that's going to apply for all my viewers, but if you're watching this earlier on in the year, they also have a special New Year's bonus that they're going to hook you guys up with as well, and that's going to be on top of the normal bonuses. So really cool stuff. Make sure you don't miss out. And of course, guys, if you appreciate this content, do me a favor and smash that like button. It really helps out the channel. And also make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on a future video. And feel free to leave any comments with any suggestions for future video topics you want to see. You can drop that right there in the comments section below. So all right, guys, that's all for now. And until next time, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you again in the next video. Cheers.